They didn't just destroy a building, they tried to delete the world's memory. Imagine a library so vast that, according to legend, when it was set on fire, it burned for months. Ancient traditions claim it held millions of manuscripts, texts on medicine, astronomy, philosophy, logic, and the nature of the universe itself, and more. This was Nalanda, the intellectual heart of the ancient world. And its final destruction was not an accident. Nalanda Mahavihara stood in ancient Magadha, in present-day Bihar, about 55 miles from modern Patna. The name Nalanda is often interpreted as the giver of knowledge, linked to the lotus, a symbol of wisdom and enlightenment. Nalanda was not a single structure. It was a fully residential university city, with monasteries, lecture halls, dormitories, kitchens, temples, and massive fortified walls. Archaeologists estimate that what we see today represents only 10% of the original campus. The rest still lies buried beneath the soil of Bihar. Written historical records associate Nalanda's formal establishment with King Kumaragupta III of the Gupta dynasty in the 5th century CE. This era is often called the Golden Age of ancient India, a time when mathematics, science, medicine, and philosophy flourished. But Nalanda's story likely began earlier. It is said that Gautama Buddha himself visited Nalanda, and later Buddhist traditions associate early patronage with Emperor Ashoka. Across centuries, Nalanda received sustained support from the Gupta emperors, King Harshavardhana of Kanauj, the Pala dynasty. Nalanda endured because it was not merely religious. It was intellectually indispensable and politically prestigious. Nalanda was elite. Admission was ruthless. Chinese scholar Xuanzang, who studied at Nalanda in the 7th century, wrote that applicants were tested at the gate itself by senior scholars known as Dwaracharyas. It is said that 70 to 80% of applicants were rejected. Those who passed receive D. Free education, free food, free lodging, funded by revenues from 100 to 200 surrounding villages donated by kings. At its height, Nalanda hosted 8,000 to 10,000 students, 1,500 to 2,000 teachers. Students came from China, Korea, Tibet, Central Asia, Southeast Asia, Persia, making Nalanda one of the world's first truly international universities. Subjects taught included philosophy and logic, medicine and Ayurveda, mathematics, astronomy, linguistics, metaphysics. This was global education, a millennium before modern universities. Nalanda functioned like a self-contained city. It had dormitories, kitchens, water systems, meditation halls, lecture complexes. The campus was built almost entirely of brick, a hallmark of Eastern Indian architecture. Some traditions describe layered residential housing, new students below, senior scholars above. Many rooms lacked windows, yet ventilation was carefully engineered. This was architecture built for thought, not luxury. Nalanda's library complex was known as Dharmaganja, the treasury of knowledge. It consisted of 3 massive buildings: Ratnasagara, Ocean of Jewels; Ratnodadi, Sea of Jewels; Ratnaranjaka, Jewel Adorned. One building was said to rise 9 stories high. The libraries housed texts on medicine, astronomy, philosophy, logic, grammar, and science. Legend claims the library held about 9 million manuscripts. When Nalanda was set on fire, it is said the flames burned for 3 to 6 months. Historians debate the exact duration, but none dispute the magnitude of the loss. Entire intellectual traditions disappeared forever. Nalanda faced destruction 3 times. First attack, 455, 467 CE. During the Hun invasions under Mihirakula, Nalanda was damaged amid widespread devastation. It was later restored and expanded by Gupta successors. Second attack. Early 7th century Nalanda suffered again during conflicts involving King Shashanka of Gauda, a rival of Harshavardhana and reportedly hostile to Buddhist institutions. Once again, Nalanda was rebuilt. Each destruction made its return more remarkable. The final destruction came in 1193 CE. Bakhtiyar Khilji, a Turco-Afghan general, led a rapid cavalry campaign through Bihar and Bengal. Persian historian Minhaj-e-Siraj, in Tabakat I-Nasiri, suggests Khilji may have mistaken Nalanda's fortified campus for a military stronghold known as Qila-e-Bihar. The complex was looted, fires were set, monks were killed or driven away. Some scholars argue Nalanda was deliberately targeted to dismantle Buddhist institutional power during the expansion of new rule. There is also a story, preserved in later tradition, that offers a more personal explanation. According to this legend, Bakhtiyar Khilji fell gravely ill during his campaign. Unable to be cured by his own physicians, he was treated by Rahula Shribhadra, a senior scholar of Ayurveda from Nalanda. The story claims that Shribhadra devised an unusual method, coating the edges of manuscript pages with herbal compounds. Rahula Shribhadra came up with this idea after Bakhtiyar Khilji refused to take the medicine he prepared, yet threatened to kill him if he failed to cure him. As Khilji turned the pages daily, he unknowingly consumed the treatment and recovered. Historians caution that this account lacks contemporary evidence, but the legend endures because it reflects how Nalanda was perceived as a center of knowledge powerful enough to unsettle kings. Whatever the motive, strategy, ideology, or fear, the outcome was the same. Nalanda was silenced. Not all of Nalanda's knowledge perished. Scholars believe that monks had already begun carrying texts across Asia, which is why many Indian Buddhist works survive today only in Chinese and Tibetan translations. The university was destroyed, but its ideas crossed borders. 40 years later, Tibetan monk Dharmasvamin visited the ruins. To his astonishment, he found Rahula Shribhadra, now over 80 years old, still teaching 70 students among the charred remains. They survived in secret, supported by a local Brahmin named Jayadeva. Nalanda's buildings were gone. Its spirit remained. Nalanda lay forgotten for centuries. Its memory survived through Chinese travel records. Archaeological excavations confirmed the legends. In 2006, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam proposed reviving Nalanda. In 2014, Nalanda International University reopened near Rajgir. Nalanda lives again, not as it once was, but as a reminder. Today, archaeologists believe we have uncovered only about 10% of Nalanda's original campus. The rest still lies buried beneath the soil. You can burn books, you can destroy buildings, but you cannot kill an idea. Nalanda was not just a university. It was humanity thinking together. This is how they built it. If this story mattered to you, consider subscribing for more lost histories like this.